Our next speaker is John Greensmyth for the CLL Support UK. John is a CLL patient himself, and he's also a keen cyclist. And he's engaged with the CLL Society mainly in developing programs for conferences, if I understood well. So the floor is yours now. Thank you.
How do you follow that? I'll do my bit. But thank you. That was uplifting, Georgi, uplifting. CLL Support is based in the UK. I live in Scotland, and I'm Irish. So you're now really confused. What we do is exactly in our title. It is support. We offer guidance, information which is verified and reliable, and during one of our surveys, we discovered that people were more affected emotionally by their diagnosis than they were physically. There's a stat coming up in the next slide. But earlier this year, we are the patient voice in the UK of the UK CLL Forum. And the CLL Forum organized an education for clinicians. And they asked us to talk about, as a patient, talk about the impact of the diagnosis and the way the diagnosis was delivered, either by a GP or in the hematology department. So we quickly put out a survey to our membership. And within a couple of days, we had over 500 responses. And we specifically asked question 4 and required, in as best as they could, one-word responses so we could provide this word cloud. And you don't need to be a statistician or a genius in mathematics to be able to see the trend and the immediate impact of the diagnosis. And remember, these people aren't like us here in this room. They're not informed about CLL, or they have impressions in their head about cancer. So immediate reaction is important, and then what happens immediately after that is equally important. Last year, as part of Blood Cancer Awareness Month, we released 3 different films. Each of those films was put together by either video clips or photographs and narrative, and on the impact of diagnosis, the impact of treatment, and the consequences of living with CLL. And it is this engagement and understanding that allows us to be able to deliver Support Act. Support Act, we take the support from our title. ACT is acceptance and commitment therapy, a well-known, accepted within the industry, let's call it, of to be able to help people to accept their situation. If I hark back to the first panel there on the left-hand side, when I was diagnosed, I was 32 years of age, I was young, I was in a very physically active job, I didn't smoke, I had the occasional drink, I worked away, so there was long periods of absences, and there was no family history. So I was almost angry that I was diagnosed. And I was diagnosed purely because I had to have an annual medical, and it included a blood test. So my big question then was, why me? And this became almost an obsession. I tried to understand why it happened to me. I quickly came to the conclusion, thankfully, that what I was doing was wasting what limited brain power I had in trying to understand something that I had no influence over. And I quickly move my focus from, rather than why me, right, what can I do about this? I'm going to go down fighting. It's probably in our nature, but there you go. And it's really important to understand what goes on between our ears, because what goes on between our ears enables us to fight on a physical basis. So the survey that we undertake on a biannual basis on the right-hand panel shows in blue that the impact of people, on the quality of life, comparing physical and emotional. And it is a bigger impact on the emotional side than on the physical side. And that's the 22 results. The 24 results confirm that, and in fact, the gap grew. So Support Act, these are the principles that it is based on. It is based upon being present, opening up, and doing what matters. First of all, the A, you accept your situation. If you accept your situation, you're in a better place to then do something about it. The C is the commitment. And the commitment is to do something which is positive. So the right-hand panel there is the choice point. So we have two ways we can go. Sometimes I talk about the famous rock tunes. You've got the stairway to heaven or the highway to hell. So for me, the stairway to heaven is doing the positive things, the things that make you feel good. So if you empower yourself in a positive way, you get the benefit of that almost immediately. And we had our 20th anniversary conference last Tuesday, and we asked people over the year for top tips. And one of the top tips really resonated with me, and it was, be kind to yourself. Find something that makes you happy and ring-fence it. And having that positive attitude is mentally and then physically beneficial to you. As was said in the introduction, I'm a cyclist. I could bore for Britain on cycling. I won't. I have 2 minutes, 47 seconds left. But cycling for me puts me into a mental state of equilibrium. I can go off out into the countryside and cycle. I get the benefit of the physical aspects of it. I get the mental space to be able to just either think about stuff or think about nothing. I can pass Highland cows and we can have a chat, and they never disagree with me. So it is uplifting to be able to do things like that. These are the quotations that we get from our feedback. Feedback is very important. I'm guessing that the top left one was written by a man, because it's the type of thing I would write if I was presented with, I think you could do something which is a little bit touchy-feely and it will be good for you. Yeah. But look at that genuine, unedited feedback. I'm quite cynical about the help like this, but my doubts have been evaporated into little clouds by the Zoom sessions, because at the start, we did this in 2021 during the pandemic, and it was done on Zoom. So the Zoom sessions I've joined, it has been very useful for me. I'm sure by now you've probably read the other ones. There are other quotes on our poster. Number 15, if you haven't yet voted, dig, dig. But Pinky, her given name is Therese, but everybody calls her Pinky. And she said to me, if I hear someone calling me Therese, I think my mother has discovered that I've been naughty again. So Pinky Jimenez Agrawal has developed this Support Act course for us, and her strapline is, your diagnosis need not be a fight for survival, but a revival of your life. And if I look back to that why me bit when I was diagnosed, that was the fight I had, because I had to face a career change. But in reality, now I have the comfort of hindsight. It was a revival of my life. It was also proof positive that the support of family is critical, and when you get it, it's precious. Thank you. Gracias.